Let me give you the timeline of what's going on with tariffs. Tom, I'm going to come to you, then Benny, I'll come to you next. All right, so timeline on tariffs. January 20th, hours before being sworn in, Trump announced 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting February 1st. January 26th, he announced immediate 25% tariffs on all goods from Colombia, rise to 50% in a week. After Colombia turned back deportation planes, Colombia agreed to all the president's terms within hours. February 1st, then Trump signed an executive order imposing 25% tariffs on nearly all goods from Canada and Mexico and 10% on China, citing fentanyl smuggling, illegal immigration. Canada and Mexico planned retaliation. China threatened countermeasures. The second, facing criticism, Trump acknowledged on social media becoming economic downside, saying, will there be some pain? Yes. Maybe, maybe not. The third, he paused the tariffs on Mexico and Canada for 30 days while threatening new tariffs. On the fourth, 10% tariffs on Chinese imports took effect. China retaliated with additional tariffs on products. Seventh, he planned to broaden his trade war with reciprocal tariffs. 10th, another 25% on foreign steel and aluminum, reviving a first-term policy. 13th, outlined broad reciprocal tariffs. 14th, confirmed plans to unspecified tariffs on foreign cars starting April 2nd. 25th, executive order task on Commerce Secretary Lutnick with investigating its foreign copper production. This kept going. Then it went to 13th of March, citing EU's planned 50% tariffs on whiskey. Mr. Trump proposed a 200% tariff on EU's wines. 24th, he set a 25% tariff. Effective second, all exports from U.S. counting buying Venezuela oil. 26th, 20% tariff on all cars and car parts shipped into U.S., including American brands. 29th, said he couldn't care less if car prices rose due to his tariffs. Obviously, they're not telling the whole story. Then 31st, Trump declared no exemptions for tariffs starting April 2nd. 10% tariff on the second, hit all nations across the board. Then the fourth, China's finance ministry imposed a 34% tariffs on all imports. Trump planned a 34% tariffs on China and barred 11 U.S. companies. Then on the 5th, 45-day delay with Vietnam because they were the first to come out. Then Bangladesh on the 7th sought a 3-month reprieve from U.S. tariffs. All of this is going on. And in the interim, EU comes out saying we're going to have retaliatory tariffs. And then this morning, Tom, specific to EU, can you give us an update what they just did this morning?
Yeah, there she is. Now, the prime ministers and the presidents in Europe, they want to go out with populist anti-Trump messaging, and they want to go scream and pound their fist. So they send her out, who's the president of the EU Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and she's the mouthpiece for the economic Europe. And so she comes out at 7:05 today. We are pausing on our retaliatory tariffs. And it's because Europe was looking over at China and seeing Trump says, I'll see your 75 and I'll raise you 100. And they don't want to play that poker game. And so Europe has come back and said, we'd like to negotiate and we're going to pause our retaliatory tariffs. She was the one that also said 3 days ago, Europe recognizes a good deal when we see it and we want a good deal, if anybody saw her comments. So that's what's going on with her. Why is everyone so surprised? Why is everyone so surprised? Trump ran on tariffs and said two things. I'm going to get fairness back for America. There's tariffs out there that we don't know about. And I want fairness, and I want to bring jobs and manufacturing back to America. I'm running on tariffs. It's the most beautiful word. So why is everybody so surprised? Why is the timeline here from the New York Times? Why is this timeline? Because it's a negotiation. Negotiations go back and forth, back and forth. Want to learn about negotiation? Come to the vault. Come see us. PBD talks about negotiation. Negotiation is not, hi, how you doing? How about 6? Yeah, okay, all right, bye. That's not how negotiation works. It goes back and forth. And on an international stage, people are playing to their home audience, playing to their parliaments, playing to a lot of things, and it goes back and forth.
Is this the tweet, Rob?
Yes, this came out at 2:19 a.m. our time this morning.
Oh, so that would
Genius.
be, so that's, I welcome President Trump's announcement to pause reciprocal tariffs. It's an important step. Clear, predictable conditions are essential in trade supply chains. Tariffs are taxes that only hurt business and consumers. That's why I've consistently advocated for zero tariff agreement. That's good. EU remains committed to its conservation agreement. Because at the same time, Europe continues to focus on diversifying trade policy, engaging with countries that account for 87% of our global trades. You know what she's saying. We're not. What does 87 mean? That means U.S. is 13. That's what she's saying there. So global trade and insurance commitment to open exchange goods. Finally, we are stepping our work for little berries of entrepreneurs. This crisis has made one thing clear. In times of uncertainty, the single market is our anchor of stability and resilience. My team and I will continue to work day and night to protect European consumers, workers, and businesses. Together, Europeans will emerge stronger from this crisis. Benny, thoughts?
So if she says 0 for 0 tariffs, why do they have a 30% tariff on American vehicles? Why is it that you can go to Europe, which I'm sure everybody has done here? Did you ever see a Ford truck in Europe?
Zero.
Have you seen a single American car in Europe?
Nope.
Have you ever seen a dealership in Europe for Chevy?
No.
GMC? No, that doesn't exist. So she's lying. Also, she puts out the tweet at 2 a.m., which is absurd, and nobody's going to see that. Like, learn the time zones. If you're speaking to Trump, which is what this is all about, and saying, yes, we agree that you're in control and you're in control of the entire global economy, and we're going to try and do everything that we possibly can to keep access to the American market, because the only innovation that Europe has brought has been, in the last 30 years, has been a little piece of plastic that keeps the tab on your water bottles. Have you guys seen that? That's the single European innovation. While every AI company is here and every single innovative company on planet Earth, while we're able to catch spaceships with chopsticks, Europe has added a piece of plastic that stabs you in the eye every time you try and drink out of their stupid
But
water
they
bottles.
patented whining.
By the way,
that's what this sounds like, a patent of a wine. This is why people like Trump. People like Trump because he's dad, all right? Our home, I look at it as a metaphor of a house. Our proverbial house where we live, our country, has not only been a house that has been abused by all of our neighbors, they literally walk onto our property and steal from us. They take our doorknobs, they take our light bulbs, they actually take things from our home. Our children live here. We have a horrible deal with the bank. We're horribly in debt on our house. We need somebody to renegotiate for us, and more importantly, we need somebody to sit in a rocking chair with a shotgun outside to say, you're not going to be stealing from our home anymore. Daddy's home. And that's what Donald Trump is, and that's what these tariffs are. He's sitting there with a polished 12 gauge out front with a cigarette or a Zin in or whatever, an Alpen, and he's saying, you're not going to steal from us any longer. And if you do, there's going to be horrible consequences. He's resetting the neighborhood. And that's what's happening here. Europe has taken total advantage of us. There's a great chart. I don't have it on hand, but there's a great chart about the value of companies that were created in Europe over the last 70 years versus the value of American companies that were startups, and there is zero innovation. Europe has to depend on the American economy. They are dependent on us for their military, for their economics, for their innovation, and quite frankly, for the social welfare programs that they love to invest in. And Donald Trump is simply saying, there it is, perfect.
That's the
That's
chart?
awesome. Look at that. Look at how humiliating. So that's leverage. PBD. Pat, PBD. Is that in business? Who has the leverage here?
Yeah, so that's public from scratch US and EU companies, less than 50-year-old with $10 billion market cap. We do, right? Obviously, it's not even close there. So what I did when you said this, because you got me thinking, I lived in Germany for 2 years, and I wanted to know, was there any US cars? Rob, can you actually search how many dealerships are there? Like, just type in ChatGPT, how many Ford dealerships are there in Europe? I'm actually really curious because you got me thinking now. I've never even looked at this data before. How many Ford dealerships are there in Europe? Let's see this number here, Benny. Oh, okay. So they got 3,100 dealerships in Europe.
Across
2020, 400. Okay, so then here's what I would want to know. Because to me, as much as EU is something we're looking at, I want to know my number one person in this whole thing taking place is not EU. Because EU allows social media communication. EU allows our stuff to be there. China's my number one. Can you type in, Rob, how many Ford vehicles were sold in Europe? How many Ford vehicles were sold in Europe? Okay, so let's see if EU is the enemy or not, because I think China's on that list. Let's see this one here. So Ford sold roughly 426,000 units, reflecting 17% decline in 2023. The decrease reduced for market share at 3.3. Decline is due to discontinuation of popular models like the Fiesta and Focus. Okay, so now let's go look at how many BMWs Europe sells in the U.S. How many BMWs Europe sells in the U.S.? Okay.
Good one.
So if we see this now, because it validates how great of a customer we are, so go to, there you go, 371,000 they sell in the U.S., making a 2.5% increase.
And Mercedes.
Those are the models. Let's type in Mercedes as well.
Volkswagen.
Okay, type in the same exact question, Mercedes. Yeah, let's see, Mercedes. And then let's look at this here. Let's look at this in 23. Okay, so about the same exact number, 374,000 is what they sold. Okay, what is the total population in EU? Total population in EU. Tom, do you have an idea?
I thought we were so we're 350, and depending on where you draw the line when you get to Poland and Ukraine.
So they got 100 million
449? Yeah.
So they got 100 million more. So for 100 million more, with what we're selling to them, what they're selling to us, the products that they have, I don't know if, to me, everything that they're doing right now, this is going to sound very weird. Out of all these tariffs that he's putting down, it's really, sometimes, unfortunately, you have a team of 100 sales guys, and you have one guy that's the biggest pain in the butt for the company to advance. But sometimes you shake things up in a company with a policy to wake this one person up, and then for everybody to get aligned on the same page, and then for that person to come in, say, you know what, I agree with what you're saying. I think this one person is who? It's China. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the whole, China's the one here. They're doing all of this stuff strictly for China. Don't you think, Tom? All of this stuff is purely for one enemy.
Absolutely. If you want to talk about cars, EU got caught with its pants down because it was kissing up and being nice to BYD because that's the Chinese EVs. And guess what they found out? That they were putting a factory in Hungary and they were hyper subsidizing it and getting ready to destroy Renault and Nissan, which are partners, in EU with the pricing of their EVs. So EU suddenly is now investigating BYD for basically hyper subsidizing it, and all of this goodness for China they're doing, it's biting them. It's absolutely biting them. You can look it up. There you got this BYD Hungary and then EU investigation. This is significant. And they're like, wait, what? What are you doing? Yeah, it happened right under your nose. You're so correct. This is all about China and what they were doing everywhere. And Europe let them in the door, wasn't tough with them the way we're being now. And now look, see, they get stabbed right in the back.
So then Trump comes out, says 84% tariffs. I'm sorry, China says 84% tariffs on U.S. goods. Then Trump comes back and says 125% tariffs on U.S. goods. And a 90-day break on tariff negotiation for the 75 so countries that were, working and willing and wanting to do stuff. So
made a phone call, said, we'll talk.
That's right. We'll talk. We want to have 1 million people wearing the Future Looks Bright gear. So this is some of you that buy Future Looks Bright gear and the numbered ones. And some of you that go and put it on eBay. Look at this, $400, 1 out of 50, $199.
That's me on the left.
Can you go to the user one?
Hat number one.
10 grand.
Is that 1 out of 250?
Yes.
But he got the 1 out of 250? That's good for him. What's the user's name? Can we see? What is the user's name?
Rob Gargiulo.
No, it's not.
Okay, go back.
Zone
Interesting.
service.
10 grand. Go back one, Rob, to see what else is up there.
Rob, that would have been so funny.
Go back if you can, Rob. Okay, they go lower. So that's another one numbered. Another one, the 45, 47 numbered. Keep going lower. More of them numbered that are selling.
$3,000.
Holy moly, that's a 43 out of 50. Okay, so here's what we're doing today. This one took us a while to get, and I'll explain to you why. This is the box, Valuetainment. If you order this hat, when you open it up, the box right there, you see the Future Looks Bright in gold. And then there's a card in there from me to you. And this hat took a while to make for one specific reason. So this is a numbered out of 250, okay? And this says Future Looks Bright, and all of it is embroidered. This is not like a wing job. All of it says Future Looks Bright all around the hat. Black, sick hat that just got launched this morning, numbered out of 250 at 99.
Get on it.
First come, first serve. Just so you know how this works. These go like hotcakes. In no time, this goes. So within 30 minutes, this will be gone. But if you're one of the people that collects these numbered hats, we will not be doing this one again, specifically with this color, black and white Future Looks Bright, numbered out of 1 out of 250. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. By the way, look at this, Vinny. Even down here, the way it is.
If I bought one right now, so somebody's going to get the number one right now.
Whoever orders, someone's going to get the number one. So, but anyways, that'll be in the box. With the box, the whole nine. Now, when we get the shipments with Future Looks Bright, you know what's coming in. This to know that it's coming strictly from us. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.